2024, is it going to be the year of Sonic Part 3? You know, we have projects confirmed, but also at the same time, it's going to be a pretty large gap. It feels like over the last couple of years, we've been pretty spoiled as Sonic fans. In 2022, we got a bunch of big projects, 2023 as well. So what's going to be the best project of this year? Is it even announced yet? We're going to get into everything about 2024 for Sonic, but make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. I'll give you a second. And let's get into it. So I actually recently did a poll on YouTube and I asked the viewers what are they most excited for 2024 in Sonic, and the answer is honestly not that surprising. We'll get to that by the end of the video. First, we got to get into all the projects that we know. The first project of the year is going to be the Knuckles TV show that's going to premiere on Paramount Plus. And I gotta say, I do think the show looks a little bit better than we're willing to admit. The plot synopsis when we first heard about this show, everyone was pretty upset about it because they were like, oh my god, is this just going to be Knuckles and Wade playing buddy cop? Which it certainly looked to be the answer, but honestly, once we saw the first trailer of the show, we got what looks to be like somewhat of an intriguing plot. Also, we get to see Sonic in the show and Tails, so I'm pretty happy about that. Even the fact that we're going to see Knuckles' character tapped in a little bit more, especially in a year when the third Sonic movie is about to come out where Shadow's going to be revealed, I think it's definitely a good thing for the movie franchise. And one other thing that's really noteworthy to point out is that it seems like there's going to be a continuation of the plot of Sonic Movie 2. There's going to be a Robotnik henchman, and also Knuckles' power is going to be a central theme of the show. Also, Knuckles and Wade probably have a good dynamic because they're like polar opposites, but also pretty funny. It's hard to deny the huge potential that this show could have. Apparently, Paramount Plus has over like 63 million subscribers, so this could be a huge audience to potentially tap into Sonic that otherwise wouldn't. So this could be bigger marketing for the Sonic franchise than just about anything. To put this into perspective, the Knuckles TV show has 8.4 million views on YouTube, and the reveal trailer for Sonic Frontiers on the official Sonic account only has 2.8 million views in 2 years. It's quadrupled its views in only 2 weeks. Some people probably roll their eyes at the Sonic movie franchise, especially on like Twitter, but there's no denying the impact that this thing has. I think in terms of the Sonic fandom though, this might not be as high as a priority as some of the other projects that are releasing this year. I think in terms of the way Sonic fans think, this project may end up being the most forgettable. And we do have some data to back that up. But I still am intrigued about this project, but the problem is I think it's going to be the central marketing focus from now until April. Someone who loves the Sonic games, I think game announcements, I think we already got our game announcement. Problem is it's coming out in autumn of 2024. Anywhere from like 7 to 10 months away. And what they did with the movie last year with Sonic Movie 2 was they didn't really give us any news, any projects, any information until that was done. So we'll probably have to hold off on news until after Knuckles is done. And while Knuckles could have a big impact with the general audience, I'll let you guys know where I rank it later on in the video. But let's move on to the next set of potential projects. This goes into speculative territory, but also at the same time, this is confirmed to be Sega's business plan. The next thing that is leaked, not confirmed, is going to be a plethora of Sonic mobile games. Now, we don't know how many would come this year. It could be 1, it could be none, it could be 2, it could be 3. Sega recently just purchased Rovio, who is the creator of Angry Birds, for $750 million, so it's safe to say that mobile games should be on the way soon. It's also already been confirmed in a Sega investor meeting that the expansion of their IPs to mobile games, and specifically several new Sonic titles for mobile, are currently under development. There are apparently 3 brand new leaked Sonic mobile games. Now, I don't know if all 3 of them are slated to come out this year, but I do know that at least one of them should be. So the first game and the biggest game, this comes from a pretty reliable leaker. They actually have leaked out several Sega IP stuff and got it right in the past. So what they said is this year, a new Sonic spin-off title will be released for mobile, and the gameplay elements will be similar to Fall Guys and will be distributed on iOS and Android. In my personal opinion, this is the one that I think is going to do the best, or at least the one I'm hoping to do the best, and I'll explain in a little bit, but let's go over the other games as well. There's also a rumor that a Sonic Sports and Chow mobile games are also in development as well. The same leaker says a Sonic Chow game and new Sonic Sports game are both in development. The Sonic Fall games will release at the start of the summer, so the first 2 probably aren't coming this year. The Sonic Chow title will apparently be exclusive to Netflix, and the Sonic Sports title will be on Apple Arcade. And on January 31st, they said the Sonic Chow game is called Sonic Chow Guardians. And before we talk about all the other stuff, keep in mind, Sonic Mania is also getting ported to Netflix gaming as well, so there is that connection with Netflix for those of you who are wondering why this person would say that. Also, don't forget, Sonic Dream Team, which just got a major content update, has 2 more major updates scheduled for this year as well. So we are kind of eating good if we get a brand new mobile game announced, a Mania port, as well as more content for Sonic Dream Team, although Dream Team was kind of a flop in terms of content on YouTube, maybe not as exciting. So the game I'm most excited for out of all those is the Sonic Fall Guys game, and there's a couple of reasons why. Let's go into some of the extra details that we know about this game, and again, this is all speculative, this is all leaks, but we know for a fact that mobile games are in development, like that's 100% confirmed. So maybe not the best thing that you want to hear, but it says the character designs will be a cross between the modern Sonic and Sonic and Friends design style. You can play as many different Sonic characters. There will be multiple modes and stages. It will be free to play and developed primarily by Sega. I said this last month, but there's limitless potential for a Sonic Fall Guys-like game. And not like what you think about, not like this type of Fall Guys. I think like a game that has actual Sonic gameplay and actual Sonic level design that's multiplayer. Like, all right, maybe it can be the cute little Sonic and Friends Fall Guys style graphics, but if it's like actual Sonic gameplay, something like the Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic 06 multiplayer, but it's like, you know, a battle royale style, like 16 players race, only 8 advance to the next round. I think that would be an absolute slam dunk, especially if the game's free and it's live service. That means we can farm content just like a game like Sonic Speed Simulator, which kind of has a lot of those similar elements and was an extremely popular game on YouTube for the Sonic franchise. It has just about all that stuff that you would want. Basically like a Sonic MMO. All right, I'm just joking about that, but actually that is like the best case scenario because they could do all the cosmetics, all the characters, all the skins, but it just depends on how the game plays. If it's a Fall Guys clone, similar to that Kirby game, but it's just a Sonic and Friends characters running around, I don't really know how groundbreaking that's going to be. We'll see though. I mean, it'll be interesting. Potential's up here. Expectations are down here. I'll also be hopeful maybe one of those 2 extra Sonic Dream Team updates could include multiplayer or something that we can actually do for more content because that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not really expecting any of that. The Chow Garden game, like, I mean, if that even does come out, which honestly, I don't think it's going to come this year, so maybe we won't focus too much time on that. How cool is that really going to be? I mean, yeah, it's going to pump a lot of headlines. People are going to be like, oh my God, the Chow Garden's back. But why was the Chow Garden even good? I would say mainly because it was attached to Sonic Adventure 2, which is one of our most, you know, beloved childhood games. There's definitely some cool things about the Chow Garden, but the fact that it was paired with the SA2 gameplay, which was like part of progressing in it, probably has something to do with it. Also, when I think of like a mobile Chow Garden, I kind of think of like the GBA Sonic Advanced Chow Garden, which like, yeah, it's cool, but it's like, you think about the mobile UI and what they would do with that. It's kind of like, this is probably what it would look like. Is it going to be that cool? I don't think it's going to be groundbreaking. You know, Sonic sports games, like how fun could that really be? I mean, yeah, it could be cool. It could be like a fun little mobile game or whatever, but I'm looking for more like platformer type games. I guess Dream Team kind of was that game, just with no multiplayer. And the Fall Guys one is the one that's apparently supposed to come out this year. So again, that's the one that has potential through the roof if it plays like an actual Sonic game, but I'm not really gonna anticipate that that would happen, although it would make sense if they did that. So based off of potential alone, these projects could be the greatest ones yet. I know it's crazy to talk about it, but just all the mobile content together, Dream Team, Mania, 3 mobile games, that's like 5 mobile things. Like at least one of those could be groundbreaking like maybe SSS was. But when I asked the question, could the greatest Sonic project of this year not even be announced yet? That is what I mean, because the potential is there. Well, let's move on to the next project because this is the one that's very contentious. Now, the next project, the big project, so this is going to come out in autumn 2024. It is Sonic X Shadow Generation. So little is known about this game, but there certainly has been quite a bit of discourse surrounding it. I made a video talking about, you know, the community split on this game, so you guys can go watch it in the end screen. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, Sonic X Shadow Generations is coming, and Shadow is finally getting a redemption. The Year of Shadow, some may call it. We got good content with Sonic Prime. We got Sonic Movie 3 coming with Shadow, and now we have this game. This game is going to dive into Shadow's past, so we're going to get past adventures from Shadow, but there are a lot of concerns that people have for the game. Obviously, the hype is definitely there. Shadow taking on Black Doom, like this is an adventure era fan's like dream. The BioLizard's back, like we could really see something so cool from this, like a brand new, basically 3D Sonic game. This has the chance to be our Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury port, a potential testing ground for new concepts to be explored upon in 3D. We've already had a lot of this experimentation in Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers, which are basically the 2 games that this new Shadow Generations game is going to be built off of. And this game was well received. Obviously, it's a Mario game, but it looks like we have a shot, you know what I mean? But the community is definitely split. The way I kind of look at it is, you know, Sega was like, all right, we got to get something out for the movie. And, you know, if the new Shadow game does poorly or flops, we at least have Sonic Generations, which is a beloved game to fall back on. But there are problems with this. There's definitely a lot of things that could go wrong. Like after the hype cycle, like seeing Shadow, first of all, Sonic fans, we love Shadow. Like when we see Shadow, we just get excited, man. So obviously there's huge hype cycle, like just being able to see Shadow, seeing Black Doom, seeing him actually dive into his past and maybe get a little bit of a correction, because I feel like in terms of the modern games, we haven't really had like a truly awesome written Shadow. You know what I mean? We had Forces where he was like, okay, he was a little bit better, but you know, we got a lot of butchering for our boy Shadow in the meta era. So now is a chance to fix all this and right the wrongs of Shadow the Hedgehog Hedgehog from 2005. We really got a shot here. But there's two things I think that can go wrong. Number one is they can totally botch the port of Sonic Generations. Now, I'm not a game modder, I'm not a game whatever, but correct me if I'm wrong. For Sonic Generations, I think it should be easier to port than Sonic Colors, maybe, but there is always that skepticism that they could end up pulling a Sonic Colors Ultimate. Now, I don't have necessarily that fear as much because this is being developed in-house by Sonic Team. There's no way in hell that after Colors Ultimate, that disaster, they're gonna release another bad port, right? There's no way in the world that that could happen, that people will be upset with a port for Sonic following Colors Ultimate, right? So there is a slight chance that they could mess up the port. Honestly, my biggest concern about the Sonic Generations portion of the port is the fact that, are they going to change the game? Like, are they going to put like additional content in the game? That is something that I'm looking forward to, like additional challenges, bosses, like anything to just not be a straight up one-to-one port. Whether it's post-game content or something like that, new modes, you know, is just like, is there going to be enough content to justify the likely $60 price tag that they're going to attach to it? And I think if the Shadow game isn't a full-blown game, then Generations is going to also have to pull some weight. It'll be nice to play it on Switch. Like, obviously this is an objective W for people on the PlayStation and the Switch, but there's just still some of those concerns there for people like myself who already have the game. They're probably going to delist the original Generations. They're probably going to slap de novo on it. So it's not all perfect. And now we got to get into the Shadow game because that's the thing that people are having some issues with as well. I will say outright, I am extremely excited for the Sonic X Shadow Generations game. Like, I'm not one of those people that's negative, but there's definitely some criticism out there that, you know, the game could take some of the elements that they don't like from Sonic Forces or Sonic Frontiers. In particular, the level design for Sonic Forces, probably not the physics, but also people don't like the physics for Sonic Frontier Cyberspace. And there is some indication based off of the very slight amount of gameplay that we've seen that the game could carry similar physics to Cyberspace. Hopefully it's more open zone than Cyberspace. But one thing that I think we can all agree on is that it's definitely not going to play and feel like Sonic Generations. I think, like I said, it's built off of the framework that Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers are built off of. So those are the issues that people have with this game. However, that is not deterring me because I personally am excited to see what Ian Flynn can do and cook up for Shadow and hopefully give him the redemption that he deserves. I'm hyped to see that we're going to explore his past a little bit and hopefully we'll see a good written Shadow. And maybe the game could just be that good. Maybe Sonic Team has definitely refined the formula of boosting post Forces and Frontiers. Personally, I'm of the mindset that Sonic Team definitely cooked with some of those Cyberspace levels that were original in Sonic Frontiers and especially the ones in Cyberspace for Update 3. So I think they'll do a good job of level design. It's just really about like how are the controls and physics going to feel. So I'm extremely optimistic and extremely excited because I think they're going to do something hopefully cool with it. So that's why this project is definitely going to be on everyone's radar for 2024. But is it the highest ranked project? Well, we still have one more to talk about. And that project is none other than Sonic Movie 3. Yes, the big movie with Shadow again. He's going to be on the big screen. So this is the project that we are all going to be waiting for. This is going to potentially be the biggest Sonic movie ever. Probably will be. Based off of some of the story leaks and stuff like that, we know Maria Robotnik's going to be in the story. Obviously, Shadow's going to be in it. Live and Learn's going to be in it. So it's going to be very similar to like SA2 the movie, basically. Not saying it has to be one-on-one of Sonic Adventure 2, but the more SA2 it is, I just feel like the more better it's going to be. And I feel like the general audience, like people who haven't even seen the first two Sonic movies, but remember playing SA2 back in the day, they see Shadow on that cover, they're going to be like, yo, we are going to see this movie. So the thing I love about the Sonic movies the most is this. I feel like the Sonic movies are something that allows us to take our hyperfixation on Sonic to the mainstream. Like, obviously, I can't sit there and talk about Sonic with normal people. I can't play Sonic with my girlfriend. My family doesn't care about Sonic. Not that many people outside of the Sonic community and some of the gaming community really care about Sonic the Hedgehog, all right? But when that movie comes out, it's kind of like a unifier. It really brings everyone together. Obviously, you'll get some of the grumpy people on Twitter that hate everything, but I feel like the movies are generally something that bring all the fans together, and this is going to be our chance to share Sonic with the world. Our hobby, our passion, the thing that we love the most, we get to see it with normal people because normal people go and see movies. So the fact that I'll be able to experience this movie with the people that I care about the most, and the general public will be talking about it, and Sonic could potentially get huge marketing, huge influx, and huge money into the franchise to help it grow even further, is something that's a huge opportunity, especially when you consider what the first two movies did to the franchise. I really hope we see Super Sonic and Super Shadow on the big screen. I hope we see the rawest Sonic we've ever seen in terms of the movie franchise. And after the success of the Mario movie, I have a feeling that this movie will outperform the first two Sonic movies. I predict over 500 million. For example, like seeing Super Sonic on the big screen, like that just got me so hyped. Like I had literally really had the chills. Like, being able to explain to my girlfriend who's never like played Sonic before, like, hey, that's Super Sonic. He becomes a gold flying god when he gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds. He's so raw. He's so cool. Like, just being able to share that passion with people is just so cool. And that's what the movie gives us an opportunity to do. So I'm super excited to see that. So now that we know all of the Sonic projects that are leaked, rumored, and potentially coming in 2024, let's go to what the people are saying. And I'll give you my ranking as well. Actually, let me give you guys my ranking first. So the number 4 project by default is going to be the mobile game. It had potential to literally be like number 2. I swear. I'm not even kidding. If it's farmable content, it could be number 2. But for now, it's number 4 based off of what we know. Number 3 is obviously going to be the Knuckles TV show. I think it's going to be really good for the franchise. Me as a gamer, I'm all about the video games, so I'm going to go ahead and put Knuckles at number 3. Number 2 is going to have to be Sonic X Shadow Generations. Again, I could go on and on about how much we love Shadow the Hedgehog and how we want to see redemption for his story. You know, potentially we could see a Super Shadow boss fight. If they really tighten up those gameplay physics of cyberspace or whatever and just make it good with solid level design, could be a slam dunk. Plus, we get Sonic Generations on the Switch. Great. Obviously, last but not least, I can't gush about it enough. Sonic Movie 3 is my number 1 most anticipated project. Sonic Movie 2 was synonymous with the time around my channel started really picking up on YouTube. So to me, it's like very similar to that time that I hold near and dear to my heart. So the Sonic movie franchise is really big for me. It also helped me get back into Sonic after being away from it for years. So what do the people think? Well, we have a poll. So here are the final results. So the rumored Sonic mobile game and the Knuckles TV show are actually tied. They're both at 3%. That's actually kind of crazy. I really thought that these two would maybe perform a little bit better. Sonic X Shadow Generations comes in second with 16% of the vote, but the overwhelming vast majority is Sonic Movie 3. And it's no surprise that this is going to be the most anticipated project for all Sonic fans in 2024. Hopefully I was able to share some insightful stuff with you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe, like the video, click the videos in the end screen, watch every single video I ever post for the rest of my life, because number 1 place to be for all things Sonic. But I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.